I'm Abu Kadujana.
That's so good.
I know. Like, when I was a kid, I saw... You remember those Gushers commercials? Mm-hmm. You remember what Gushers were?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love Gushers.
Yeah. And...
The ones with, like, the heads exploding?
Yeah. Well, their head would, like, turn into a fruit.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was.
And so I was, like, 4 or 5 or something like that. And I thought if you ate those, your head would actually turn into a fruit. So I begged my mom to get Gushers from the store.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't think it was like one of those things where, like, for whatever reason I didn't like want to tell her why. I just wanted her to get the Gushers for me. So she did. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be sick. I'm gonna eat this, and my head's gonna turn into a fruit, dude. It's gonna be the best thing.
He's so excited.
I don't know. I just thought it was gonna be so cool. So I did, and nothing happened, and I was really disappointed.
That's just the dumbest thing
I know.
I've ever heard. I really like that.
I don't even remember what you said that made me think of that now. You were talking about...
I was talking about pet simulators.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was because, like, you saw the commercial and you thought, oh, this would be so sick if they pull that off or whatever.
Yeah.
That made me think of, like, I probably had misconceptions about a lot of things as a kid based on, like, advertisements.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the Gushers thing was definitely one of them. Good Gushers, man.
Gushers. That's the best story I've ever heard. That's so funny. If I thought that it turned my head into a fruit, I'd probably be terrified.
For whatever reason, I thought it was dope.
That's so
I don't know
funny.
why.
I probably would have been like, oh, I can't ever
have Gushers. I don't want to turn into fruit.
Oh, also, speaking of childhood things, just because now I'm just on a tangent of anything that happened in my childhood, I used to get bad headaches. Really? I used to get migraines, like full on, made me vomit migraines. And I would get headaches so frequently, like if I watched TV for a long time in the morning, I got a headache. For whatever reason.
Wow.
Like it was like too much stimulation for my head in the morning. So I told myself, no more TV in the morning, it gives me a headache for the day. I can't do that anymore. Like if I waited till noon, I was fine. Any earlier than that, I got a headache. Around this time, my sister found out that Digimon was a TV show.
Oh, man.
And we started watching Digimon. And they started... we started in the middle of the 4th season. So we got to the end, and then it reset back to the 1st season. We're like, wait, who are these characters? And we're like, wait, we were in the middle. And I think it took us like another year for it to catch back up and get to where we were originally. So I don't know that I've seen all of it, which I need to go back and watch those. They're probably terrible. But I remember like just falling in love with those characters and like the story and stuff. And so anyway, it played from 8 to 9. They played 2 episodes back to back every morning, 8 to 9. So my sister and I would get up and watch it before school. And every day, I can't do this, it'll give me a headache. And every day I got a headache because I wanted to watch that show. I also remember my sister got she gets I don't think she does anymore. Wow. She gets too obsessed with things to the point where it's really, really obnoxious. Like Jonas Brothers shoved right in her face. Any chance she could talk about him, she would. The same thing was true for Digimon. But the thing is, I also liked Digimon. But I couldn't let anyone else know because my sister was annoying about it. And I didn't want to be associated with that. Right. So one of my best friends was making fun of it. And this is how...
yeah!
This is how he made fun of it. Now this guy was smart for his... he's still smart for his age. He finished calculus before he was in high school or something. He was another homeschool. Yeah, very smart. Very good at math. And I remember he was a sophomore in high school, done with this first year of college math, crazy. And he knew big words because he read a lot. So the theme song is Digimon, and it says Digimon Digital Monsters, and he would say Digimon Digital Monotony, and that was his That was his like, ooh, like,
oh
clever.
shit, oh.
And freaking, I was just like, yeah, man. I just like totally went along with it. Like,
yeah.
I never knew that I liked Digimon as much as my sister.
That's hilarious.
But like my sister like printed out screenshots from the show of the characters and like put them up on her walls. Like not posters, like pictures of a scene. Like they'd be at a campfire in an episode. She'd find it online and print it off and tape it, and she'd circle the ones that were cute, and like it was so
circle the ones that were cute. This
it was
one's
so
cute.
cute.
These aren't.
She put like a different shape around the ones that were. But she like dressed up as the one for Halloween, and like it was just.
Oh wow.
And for Christmas, she wanted those on DVD. It's the best thing. I love this. She wanted them on DVD. Now, asking for 4 seasons worth of a cartoon on DVD, like a long-running cartoon, is like not cheap.
Yeah.
But my mom went on eBay, or my dad, I think it was probably my mom, went on eBay and found that someone was selling all of them. Even the ones that like weren't on DVD yet. So she bought the complete.
It was like a bootleg.
For like
thing.
$60, she bought the complete all 4 seasons. They got, and they're like DVD-RWs, and they're like written on like disc 1, disc 2.
Dude, that's a
one,
thing that
one.
exists though.
And
like
dude,
there's so much of that shit.
They were ripped straight from.
Yeah.
They were straight like VCR rips. Because
yeah.
They had like the Cartoon Network logo in the corner.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah. And it just total bootleg.
So much of that on eBay.
I think she still has. If she still has those, I might rewatch them on those. just because. Yeah, dude, that was just the best thing. They were all there. We weren't missing
every one of them.
Every one of them. Even
someone cared about that.
Someone really cared. I just thought that was so funny. And I remember not thinking anything of it. I was like, cool, she has all of them. I didn't even think about these were like illegal copies, and I'm sure my mom didn't either. But just really funny stuff, dude. Yeah, that was a show that just is so memorable to me. That'll work. All right, welcome back, everyone.
All 3 of you.
All 3 to episode 9. I think, yeah, it should be 9. We got Seth back again.
Hey, yo.
We actually went to go get him. He didn't come back. We drove to his town of residence to film this.
Wow, if you say what town it is, people will automatically know who I am. They'll know where I live.
Can't disclose his location.
That's true.
I'm the only person who lives in said town.
So, we recorded a few weeks ago, Mitchell and I, a few childhood stories that you've just listened to.
Oh.
So we're gonna build off that now that Seth's here. So kick us off, Seth. What you got?
Okay, well, I'm trying to think of the earliest memory, and I probably can't right now. I'll probably think of something.
So
later.
a good one that we could do is how the first time we ever hung out or met, I guess.
Well, just building off the Gusher story.
Oh,
the only thing I thought, I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but like when I first found out like how to like cross your eyes to like look at your nose.
Yeah.
And then there's always some kid like, if you do that, it'll get
get
stuck.
stuck? Oh, yeah.
See, like, how does that get spread around? We've all heard that.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not true.
Wait, it's not.
I mean, maybe if you like hold it there all day, it might slowly move there. But it's like, oh, if you hold it there for like even 10 seconds, it'll just get stuck. It's like, I don't think
it's
so.
like the eclipse. They say if you just look at it for 30 seconds, you'll burn out your retinas.
Yeah.
I mean,
one time I stared at the sun through binoculars for over an hour. I was fine. So.
Are you being serious?
No.
Okay.
So along with that, another one that I just thought of was someone like told me that I like had a rubber band and I was like putting it around my finger just because I was like playing with it. Someone said that like, oh yeah, a guy like rubber banded his finger like really tight at the end, just like kept like winding it over, and he left it on for 24 hours and his finger turned black and fell off.
I mean, that's probably true.
It could turn blue. It wouldn't fall off.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
for sure.
They made it
a little extreme.
They made it say it like disintegrated and like fell off. But
so here's another thing. This is pretty early on. This is probably when I was between the 5 and 7 range, 5 to 7 years old. So you guys all know Phil, right?
Oh no, what do
Okay. So here's the thing: Phil would always tell me these stories that were not true. Obviously, once you hear them, you'll know they're not true. But it's hard to tell in hindsight if he was like screwing with me or if he
thought they were,
or if he thought they were true. And I think it's the latter one because he wasn't the type to like just straight up lie. Like
that's
stories.
true.
So I think he just misunderstood stories. And it's kind of like the game of telephone; it just keeps getting like more untrue.
Yeah.
So there's two in particular that I can remember. The first one, so me and Phil, we were driving to my house. So my mom was driving. We were both in the back seat, and we drove over the bridge on Main Street in Finley. It's like over the Blanchard River on Main Street. So we cross over, and he like kind of turns back. He's like, "Yeah, my dad built that bridge." And I was like, "Your dad built that bridge?" He's like, "Yeah." So he built it, and then he goes on the story. He's like, when he first built it, he like made a mistake, and it wasn't stable. Like it was like on the verge of collapsing if you drove over it. Like if you drove in a car, it would be fine, but if you drove in a van, it would be too heavy. Is the way he described it. So he's like, so one time, me and my family are driving home from like church or whatever, and we get to the bridge. We're like, oh shoot, we're in a van, so we got to go slowly. And he's like, so we're going over real slowly. And
Why does going slow help?
It probably makes it worse, to be honest. And Phil's like, yeah, so we're all like holding onto the edge of our seats. And then I go and I like open the door and like shut it real tight to make sure I don't know. I don't even know what that has to do with it. But he said he opened each door and shut it real tight. And I'm like, I guess it builds suspense. I don't know.
No, what?
I know.
What?
And I remember telling my mom that. She's like, there's no way. Mr. doesn't work in that field anyway.
Yeah, it's because he's like
Sorry, Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Mr.
So that was one. The second one was about his older brother Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes it even worse because this is a story that he wasn't even involved in. So it's even more not true. So
he wasn't involved in his dad building a bridge.
No, but he was in the car when they drove over it. Supposedly.
Allegedly.
I think he actually was. He just was imagining. Anyway, so he tells me, yeah, my older brother, when he was in school, because he wasn't homeschooled his whole life. He was in school like earlier years. There's a school bully that he had trouble with or whatever. And then Kenny had his birthday party at their house. And for some reason, he accidentally invites the bully to the party. Or somehow he shows up, and the bully takes Kenny, like he's in his house, and he goes up, takes Kenny into his room, and he locks Kenny in his own room. Which, first of all, the locks normally...
They work on the inside.
Yeah, normally that's what you would think. And then the story goes, Kenny remembers that he had a book. He had just read a book about like karate or something, and he like goes and he references the book, and then he looks it up real quick, and then he kicks the door open. And that's like the end of the story. It's like, okay. It's like
he references.
It's just like, oh, he reads this karate book that he has, and he learns how to kick doors down. It's like, what is it? So yeah, those are two stories that I remember him telling me. And then, funnily enough, like in recent years, I've gone back and told him these things. He's like, "Wow, I'm stupid," or I was stupid. Like, why would I say that? He like doesn't recall any of it. Like, he doesn't even remember like that being a thing. Like my dad building the Blanchard Bridge or whatever.
Dude, that's so funny. Oh my gosh,
so that's pretty cool.
That's so funny. Wow. So I guess another good point of discussion is the times that we all met.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this a little bit, me and Mitch, on the way up. So the first time I met you was at your house.
No. Well,
Wait,
that was the first time we really met. But I remember the first time our families met was at a torch group.
Yeah.
And I think you were 5, so I must have been.
Yeah, I thought it was like 4 or 5.
6 or 7.
Wasn't it at your house?
Well, we met there and then we invited you over, basically. So like I don't think you and I talked.
Okay.
At that point.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't remember.
I just remember you being 5 years old, which is like funny.
Nice. But yeah, so I remember we went to your house. Like you had a pool back where your sunroom was, and we like swam in the pool. It was just like I don't remember anything other than that.
I remember, yeah, we played. So we started off in the pool, just doing our thing, swimming around. And I remember,
you know how it is. You already know.
So we went inside and we had.
You already know.
And my mom made like Indian food. It was like tandoori chicken,
Nice.
and then your mom brought like probably some side dish or whatever.
Probably brought some dumb white people food.
Quinoa pasta. Anyway, no, but I think your parents said like, do your parents like spicy food?
I don't think they're.
No? I thought I remember it was like we made like because normally we're pretty like careful with like making Indian food because like pretty aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Like when people come over, not like just always making Indian food. I think for some reason like your parents said, "Oh, we like spicy food," but maybe I remember that wrong. So that's why
They might. I don't know honestly.
So I remember we did that, and then you and I played a board game or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Shoots and ladders.
No. It
Eels
was
and
some game we had, like
Eels and Escalade.
some obscure board game, but we started playing that, and then that's all I remember though.
Dude, that's funny. I don't
And then
remember
you guys
those
went home,
ones.
and then for some reason we started like hanging out and like playing video games and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
However
those
that
were the
started.
days. Those were the days.
Back in the Disney.
I think the reason we probably started hanging out is because my sister and your sister started hanging out.
Yeah.
Because my younger sister was like
That's
really
true.
shy at the time, but she got like
Oh,
super
dude.
attached to your sister, and that's why they started like hanging out.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she wouldn't talk to people.
But she would talk to your
She
sister.
would talk to Story.
For some reason.
I remember that.
She got like super attached to her and like hanging out, and then we probably
Wow.
started hanging out for the same.
I forgot
reason.
all about
You got attached to me.
That's
You got-
And then,
I
yeah.
forgot all about that. Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow. That's bizarre.
And then, let's see. Probably next in the timeline is when I met Mitchell. Although I don't remember a distinct moment,
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was.
That's what
hey,
you're
I'm
saying.
Seth, but like we definitely knew each other.
Yeah.
Like, probably 6th or 7th grade, maybe.
Because
Would have been like homeschool basketball.
yeah,
right?
homeschool basketball, and then I think that's how
So Evan and
Evan
Nigel,
and Nigel met
at
at
homeschool basketball.
and then they like became pals.
Yeah.
So
So
then
we're playing in
just
a
kinda-
band.
yeah, just kind of followed suit.
Yeah. And then I wouldn't say you and I really hung out until like WEM started
Yeah.
being a thing. Like
Gotcha.
like when we went to George House and it was like
Yeah, see, I was trying to remember
That's what he
what
was
that
saying.
was. Do you
so
remember?
it was an open mic at George House, which they only did like
That's
2 or 3
right.
times.
Really?
So my band played, my other
That's
band
right.
that I was in,
No, I remember.
and then Micah played.
Yeah.
Where
And
did,
then what?
where in the place do they play?
It was
Up
like
front.
near the back entrance, or is that the front? Yeah, I
That's
guess
the
that's like facing the university.
Yeah,
Oh,
So in that little area, they moved
like
some of the tables.
like where they had the where they
Oh.
have the
the big
big
two?
Yeah.
big TV.
Oh,
So
really?
before that was a thing.
Oh, wow.
Um,
That's interesting.
and then we all went to Wendy's. So it was me.
That's right. I didn't remember that was
Yeah.
like all that same.
okay.
It was me, Mitchell, Michael, Evan, and Micah, who all went to Wendy's afterwards. And that was when I first met Michael.
Hmm.
And this was kind of when I knew Mitchell, but I hadn't like hung out with him,
Huh.
or like, up until that point. So that's kind of like when I first, I wouldn't say met him,
Hmm.
but that was like
The first time that we
first time we like hung out in a group setting.
Yeah,
I guess.
gotcha.
That wasn't basketball,
Yeah.
which isn't really hanging out.
Dude, I
So,
love those.
yeah.
Those were fun. So, interesting thing about us two, like, since we were, like, he was in the other homeschool group, and then there was, like, the
the
Catholic homeschool
the
group?
exclusive Catholic homeschool.
But, so, I knew you from that,
Yeah.
but Mitchell had just always been around at the other one, so I'd, like,
Well, then there was like Homeschool Arts Festival, which was kind of like where we all came together.
yeah, so,
that was like
so we were also talking about that.
Okay, yeah.
We'll get into that in a second.
sure.
But so I had been over to Mitch's house several times to play capture the flag
Really?
before I knew who he was.
See, I never did that.
So one time,
Yeah, why didn't you?
I don't know. I don't think.
you were invited.
What was the
right?
age group or age limit for that? Like
I mean,
threshold.
I mean, it was the same as any other.
yeah, Evan and all those.
I remember
people
my
were there,
brother
so
going. I remember either I didn't care or I wasn't old enough. But that doesn't make sense if you guys went.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
been there.
Maybe I just didn't want to. I don't know.
But either way, so I remember doing that, and then one day I got there, and I was hanging out with Isaac, and we were like waiting for other people or something, just like standing in their house. This wasn't for Capture the Flag. This was just an event at their house.
Yeah.
So we were
I
just
think
like,
it was capture the flag.
was it just early in the day?
Yeah, because
Oh.
like people would show up because we did like dinner too.
Yeah.
So
okay.
people would show up like because we wouldn't start playing until after dark. 'Cause
Right,
that's
right.
the best time to do it.
Right.
So people would show up like a couple hours before then.
Gotcha. But either way, so we're just like standing there, and his mom like walks over because we looked like we were just waiting and doing nothing.
And just social rejects.
Yeah, so she was trying to get us like socially involved. So she's like, "Oh, yeah, you're Sam, right?" Like, yeah.
Wait, so this is Mitchell's mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, you play music, right? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, my kids play guitar and bass, and hey, Evan and Mitch, get over here. And they're like, shit, these guys play guitar. Go show them your guitars.
And at this point, you're like how many years younger than Evan? Like,
I mean, like 5 or something.
At least 5 or 6.
Yeah, and I'm like 3 or whatever younger than Mitch.
Yeah,
and so
that must have been fun.
So
at that age, it's like way more drastic.
Yeah, because they were like, I mean, yeah, if I was like probably 13 or 14.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's like a big enough gap. So they like walk us upstairs to their bedroom.
Mm.
Or did you guys share a bedroom?
No.
Okay.
We always had.
Was it your bedroom that I went
Yeah.
into? Okay. So I went into Mitch's room, and then he like gets out his bass.
Mm-hmm.
He's like kind of sitting there, and he's like, "Do you want to play it?" And I was like, "No, it's okay." I was like really uncomfortable, and obviously I didn't want to play. So then he like noodled around for a minute, and then I was like, "Cool." And then we just went back downstairs. So that was the first time I ever like
didn't
talked
have any
to Mitch.
musical like taste in common at that point.
No, yeah, no, we wouldn't have. That was like the first time I ever like talked to Mitch.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny, and then we started hanging out again with Michael later.
Michael, bringing friends together.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, all that to say, we all used to be a part of the Homeschool Fine Arts Festival.
Good times.
Yeah, dude, great times.
Yeah,
Actually, if you don't care, we should talk about Drama Club first, because that would lead into.
Yes, that was chronological.
That was before, and it would also lead into a.
Were
good
you
thing.
around when we did the play, like the live play?
No.
You sure?
What was that?
It was. I want to say.
Wait, was it through like St. Mike's?
No, yes, you were definitely there because your mom was like in charge of it almost.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like the three
yeah.
little
We like
pigs.
built sets.
The 3 little pigs.
Yeah,
like,
what
the
was that for?
We built sets.
It was basically just the torch,
Play. It was just a play.
Yeah.
For the okay.
which
I do
evolved
remember
into
that.
Drama Club.
Oh, is that how that came about?
I don't know.
That
It's
makes
like
sense.
it's not like a national organization. We just kind of did what we wanted. So I don't remember the reason we did that. I think it was probably, I don't know. Your mom had like the book, and we based it off the book. It was like a children's book.
Yeah.
So she probably was like, "Oh, I found this really cool book. Let's like, I don't know."
Dude, I remember that.
Because we would
I
do stuff like that
now.
during the summer when we didn't have school. We would like do like co-op and stuff. Like, you
Yeah.
remember that, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it'd be
forgot
like
about that.
science stuff, and sometimes it'd be like music stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I forgot all about that stuff.
Yeah.
It
So
was fun.
So that'd be the first thing was the play, and then I want
Yeah.
to say the year after, maybe 2 summers after, I don't know, we did the recorded like drama club.
Okay,
so
and
it was
I don't think I was there for the first one. The first one was
Okay.
like the pirate ship, right?
yeah. No, wait. Yes,
And I was not there for that.
the first one it was Pirate Ship and Cinderella,
Okay.
or like some different version of Cinderella.
Okay.
Of course, we always have to like change it somehow.
Right.
But yeah, so that was like we did that with the old video camera that we had. We literally put a VHS tape into the camera, and it would
my
record
God.
onto the VHS tape.
Dude.
And you couldn't like edit it, so you just had to pause it at the right time. And if you like mess up, you had to like go in and rewind it and look on the little screen and then pause it again. And it would always be off by like 3 or 4 seconds anyway.
Dude, that's
So you
so
just had to
funny.
like deal with it.
That's so funny.
Do you remember? Were you in that? Or were you
The pirate? No, I
that
wasn't
era
there at all.
or that year?
Yeah, not that year at all. We did
Yeah.
2 additional years, right?
One more.
Just 1 more year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that year was the Forward to the Past.
yeah.
We did the
Well,
feature film.
Yeah. So that was. It might have been a year or 2, or 1 or 2 summers later, and at that point we had a more like modern camera,
Yeah, because he had the
and
one of the
Nigel
big
could actually
DVDs.
put it on a computer and use software to
Yeah, I remember that.
put sound effects and like make it a little more fluid.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that. So that year we did Forward to the Past, which was a feature length
A
film.
Back to the Future spin-off.
Yeah, spin-off.
That made no sense.
That was, yeah, because we like went out to my house to like
On
record for the
location.
on location when they went in the time machine to the
Yeah.
past, because it was like the middle of nowhere, so it
Yeah.
looked like the past.
Hey, your house in the middle of nowhere. Let's go.
Yeah, that was fun, and we interviewed Phil there because he was like the.
Yeah, so that was cool. So we did behind the scenes stuff. Which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fun. So like
That was a lot of fun.
this
dude.
is kind of going off topic. We'll go back to this later, but like this was kind of an important where Nigel, because he ends up going and getting a degree in film. So
Mhm.
like he's really into like recording, and I was like his guinea pig to like act in everything.
Yeah.
And like home videos, which we'll talk about later. But so he was he was trying to do like this behind the scenes thing on the side when he wasn't recording, because half the time he was just waiting for people to learn. Because like your mom and my mom were the ones like teaching everyone like their lines and like what they're supposed to say. So most of the time he's just kind of waiting around because he's not doing that. So we started doing like these behind the scenes like stupid stuff with me and Phil, like just acting like idiots, you know,
I remember
just normal.
Those are so much fun.
Yeah, and then doing like interviews with the actors or whatever, and it was funny, but like
BTS pieces.
it was funny because like so me and Phil were just acting like idiots, and Nigel like thought it was hilarious, so we like put it all together in this behind the scenes, and like at the end when we finished everything, we would have all the families over, like all the parents of the kids would come over to our house and watch it. And like, oh, this is what your kids have been working on all week, because like the parents normally wouldn't come to like the recording. It would just be your mom and my mom would be like running it, and so my mom's like, okay, Nigel, let's see the entire thing to make sure it's like appropriate, and like everything's fine, and then it's the behind the scenes, and me and Phil are just acting like morons, and mom's like, no, we're not showing this to the family. And I don't know if he saved it, but it was hilarious. And he chopped out all the good stuff to make it more family friendly. But it was like,
What do you recall anything in particular there?
I remember there's one point where we had. So remember we did the Switchfoot music video, "Meant to Live."
Yeah, so that was another thing.
Have you seen that, Mitch?
I think so.
Okay, so
because
that was.
Yeah, you guys showed like one or two of those music videos for like Homeschooled Fine Arts.
Yeah, I think we might have shown that, but. So I remember the day we set that up, we like had all the music stuff in the big room, like we made everything there. So after, I think everyone left except Phil spent the night and we hung out or whatever. And when we were later in the day, all the stuff was still set up and like the mics were plugged in and like the guitars were plugged in, the amps and stuff. So like, the only thing I remember is I was like screaming in the mic, because this was like right after I discovered like Under Oath. So I'm just like acting stupid and just like screaming into the mic and like moshing or whatever, which I didn't even know what that was at the time, so it's kind of funny that I was doing that. And Phil just like playing the guitar and he's like just playing chords because it's the only thing I remember. But it like ended with that and like the credits were rolling as we were doing that.
That's so good.
But like I can totally understand now why that would be a bad idea to show that.
Oh, that's so funny, dude.
I hope he saved that though, because I kind of want to go back and watch the
the
uncensored version.
The director's cut.
The director's cut, yes.
But so we did that. We did the music video. We did the Forward to the Past. So
and then we did
the Literals was in
the Literals.
there.
That's right.
So my role, Seth was like lead in everything because he was obviously, like you said, the guinea pig.
I was the only competent one, I guess.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, because some of those kids were like young and like have never done anything like that. They're just not like, to be honest, they're not good at.
Oh, not good at all.
Some of them are like good, but you know.
Yeah, I was like too nervous to be.
Yeah, you were kind of more shy at that time.
I was so shy. I didn't want to do anything, which would be a blast to do all that now. But so I didn't actually like act in anything.
You were the captain.
You guys roped me in.
Out.
I got roped into being the captain, so I wore like your dress pants.
Yeah, probably like my old suit.
Yeah, your old suit and a captain's hat, and I got headbutted.
So you had one line, and then the main character headbutted.
What was his line?
Yeah, it was like, "Sir, you're not supposed to be here."
So like the guy was, the whole point of the movie is he was stopping the Titanic, because apparently if you have a time machine, that's the number one thing you would stop, right? Not like the Holocaust or anything. So the guy goes up to the captain. He's like, "This ship is gonna hit an iceberg. It's gonna crash." And then your line was just like, "This ship is unsinkable," or like, "This is the best ship ever. It'll never sink."
This is the best.
And then the guy's like, "Fine, I guess I have to do this." And he headbutts him.
Yeah, and I remember like I didn't get it right the first time. I started laughing.
Oh, like that's everyone did that.
I know, but like even me only had one line. I had to like redo it.
Wait, what's my line?
So yeah, I did that.
And then you played
in the Return of the Star Wars Episode 7, which
Return of the Seth.
Yeah, Return of the Seth. And that actually, I love that that's an actual movie now. Like, not obviously our version, unfortunately.
That's in Episode 7.
But yeah, we did Episode 7.
And you played Luke Skywalker, but you were just playing a dead corpse.
Version. Yeah, so you just like put a bag over my head to like symbolize me being dead.
Because that's how you do that.
That's how you do that. But yeah, so we did that, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah. And then we did the music video. So the music video leads in well to some other stuff. Yeah. So we it was me and Seth and Nigel and Phil.
Oh yes.
We did that music video that I don't.
Was that what sparked it?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, that's what
really?
sparked it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've seen that, right? You said.
Which one?
The one that I'm in.
Meant to Live.
Meant to Live.
Oh, you were in that one?
Yeah,
I probably did, but I don't
think we've shown that at
remember
Fine
anything
Arts.
about that.
Okay, we'll have to.
I know for sure
We have the DVD at home, so
there
we'll
was
have to dig that
the
out.
falling up.
The falling,
one.
yeah, escalates. Yeah, that we showed that.
Okay, I didn't see that one then.
No.
I don't think. So anyway, the four of us were in that, and while we were, you had that like music room. I don't know if it's still a music room,
no.
whatever it is now, but that used to be like a music room where you had all your drums and everything. So we were just hanging out in there with all our instruments because we had to like bring them over and set them up while they were like doing other stuff, and we just started like jamming and like goofing off.
Play the blues in
Like,
E minor, whatever.
yeah, whatever.
12-bar blues.
Yeah. So we're like, we should start a band. So this would have been pre like any other band, right? Or
This would have been pre any band I was in. I think.
Okay.
Let's think. This went close to like high school. Yeah, so this would have been probably the first.
You were like 14
Yeah.
or less. Or no,
No,
Nigel
it
was
would
like
have been
14.
like
Pre.
Yeah, I was like 10. You were 12.
Because
Nigel was
at a certain
14-ish.
point, Nigel's band that I was in played at the Fine Arts Festival. I think that was.
Pre-Spine-Glass.
I'm trying to think. Was the Fine Arts Festival that Spine-Glass played at? Was that the last one
I
we would
think
have like
so.
been to?
Was that the wait? Spine-Glass? What's Spine-Glass?
Spine-Glass is Least of Thieves before it was Least of Thieves.
Okay, so that was after because I remember that. So we talked about this on the way
because
up.
they played at Fine Arts Festival, so that must have been like the last one I went.
That was
to.
yeah because that after that performance I went over to Nigel and said like, dude, I just got a camera, so the next time we do drama club we can record from two angles. So that was definitely after this time.
Okay.
But so anyway, we're like, we should start a band.
So it's me, you, Nigel, and Phil.
And Phil like learned guitar, I think, to do this.
Well, first you and him played a duet, I think,
Oh, what
at
was
the
that
Fine Arts,
for?
and that's how you guys like.
I forgot all about that. I forgot what that
I don't know
was
if
even
that,
for.
I don't know if that was before.
Can we
Either
check the
whatever.
windows?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So,
So the four of us.
So the four of us, we sit around, we start playing, like, let's start a band.
Yeah.
So then we actually like did kinda, and we learned Wipeout.
Yeah. The problem was we didn't have a singer.
Wait, did you guys play?
That's what I was
yes,
referring to.
I remember that
So-
now that you say that.
So yeah, what were we saying? We did
I was gonna say we didn't have a singer, so we were limited to instrumentals that were not insanely difficult. Like, we couldn't play like Rush or anything. Which even they weren't an instrumental band, but they had instrumental songs.
Yeah.
So I think the first song we learned was the blues because that was like the easiest one.
Yeah.
Was Wipeout like the first song we learned? 'Cause that one's pretty intense for like a lot of.
That was one of the first,
Okay.
I thought.
Yeah.
And then we learned a one of those like metal Christmas songs.
Yeah, that was towards the end, and that I remember we were gonna play at Coffee Meet. We were gonna play the prog metal song.
Yeah, and I got like really sick.
And then you got sick, and we
yeah.
couldn't play, which
Yeah.
is too bad. That would have been sick though.
I know. Might have to do that.
I remember being like kind of disappointed about that.
Yeah, I remember being pretty disappointed too.
Dude,
'cause
that
I, like,
album is so good though. It's like,
I need to go back and listen to that.
and it's so proggy, like you don't realize it until you go back. And
You don't realize it.
I'm gonna have to check that because at the time I wouldn't have like cared about prog.
Yeah.
I think.
So
But-
I'm trying to think. So yeah, we did Wipeout, the blues. We did the Mission Impossible theme.
Oh yeah,
Remember we did that
yeah.
because that's like instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did. Is that one song? Walk Don't Run.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And that was instrumental. And then we
Yeah.
did. What was that one song you did? Was it called Memphis? Or,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was one of the last songs we learned.
Because that was
had
like tough.
That had like an intense solo in it, and like you had a really hard part. Like our parts were all easy.
I remember
you had to do like these solos.
I remember learning that, and that was like real tough.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
I
that.
didn't see that.
That was probably towards
I'll
the
have
end.
to like put in clips of these songs as,
Yes.
as we say them.
I think we. I might have some on DVD somewhere.
Nice. So
Yeah.
we did all that, and then we were trying to think of names and stuff. We never officially had a name, but we talked about the one that kind of stuck was C versus C.
C versus C.
Because there's four of us. There's Catino, Vance Strathman, Catino.
C versus C.
And that
So
was
like
my
it's
favorite.
it's like clever, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
face of it.
Yeah, but I like that.
And then even when you explain it, it's just like, yeah, it's just our initials.
yeah, that's
Let's
kind of
go.
dumb. But
And it's like me versus Nigel. That doesn't make
I
sense.
know.
I mean, obviously I'd win, but it doesn't make sense.
So yeah, all that to say. So then back to the fine arts festivals. They were
Yeah.
like homeschool events that we did.
So it wasn't
once a year.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and it wasn't most of it was not live music. Most of it was like drawings and like sculptures.
Yeah. Drawings, like sculptures. There was like some people did dances.
Yeah.
A lot of people did like classical stuff. I used to do classical music.
The majority of it was not like anything that involved drums or like,
Yeah.
electric guitars.
Mhm. so one year it was at St. Mike's. And
Yeah.
that was also, this is interesting, that was the first time I had ever, like, I didn't meet him there, but first time I ever saw Micah. Because he did that Napoleon Dynamite sketch.
Yeah.
And that was like, I hadn't seen Napoleon Dynamite at the time, and I hadn't met Micah.
You remember thinking,
yeah, I just remember thinking, like, that's a bold move from this guy that I've never seen. This is
Bold
like, funny. I remember Thea is pretty funny, though. Like, he did, like, a good job with it, from what I remember. But,
that was, like, his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Festival. Not really.
So, we played there, and Mitch, earlier, we were talking about this on the way over. And I was like, do you remember any other bands that played? And he's like, not really. And I was like, dude.
Bands that played at Fine Arts?
Yeah, because I was like trying to make him think of us.
Okay.
Playing. So yeah, you would.
Oh,
yeah, I remember it now. I remember it now.
So
Evan did like his own little thing a couple times, but that wasn't like a band.
Yeah,
like,
he did solo.
Do you know if anyone filmed that? Because I'd love to find that.
I don't know if they filmed that. I know for a fact that Coffee Amici, the Wipeout, was filmed.
Okay, I really want to find
DVD somewhere.
If you can ever find that,
I'll definitely when I go home. Or I might have it at my house here.
Oh, dope.
So.
Because I've never seen our band perform, and I don't remember. Really? I was like 9, 10ish. I don't remember any of it, basically.
Still like killed it though.
Yeah, dude, I remember.
Wipeout solos.
I remember, like doing well, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But see, I don't remember now if I was like actually good or.
No, yeah, you were definitely good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember like you and Nigel had no problems. I remember Phil was just he like could not play chords. That's all we needed him to do.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, to be fair, that wasn't his passion.
Nigel played bass, though, right?
Yeah. Nigel played bass,
mm-hmm.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember he did really well. So
you throw in like all these complex riffs.
And then you
I
just
remember
like
one point at Coffee Amici it was the Mission Impossible song, and part of it we just like threw in like this drum and bass interlude or whatever, and Nigel made up this like really complicated riff. I remember the guy at Coffee Amici who, like the older guy who like let Nigel borrow his bass amp. He was like blown away by like because he was only like 15, like doing this
That's
weird
true,
thing.
yeah.
He's like, whoa,
dude. That's funny.
Yeah, Nigel's really good at bass. I always loved his bass lines. They were very tasty.
Man, I need to like. I was too young to like know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I gotta like dig this stuff back out. Not that I have it, but
dig it out. Inquire from Seth. Yeah, I think we have at least one video of that. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you can find, I'd love to see. But yeah, so we did all that stuff. The band dispersed because very shortly thereafter.
I think the Christmas song. I think that was the last thing we were gonna do, and then so even that didn't happen. So it was kind of a weird ending.
So it was like summer to winter.
Yeah. So that was.
I wonder what year that was. Maybe like. 20.
Well, I had the drum set, the sitting down drum set.
That's right.
I started out with the standing up drum set, which was really weird.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah. So the sitting down drum set I got right before I started school, which would have been 8th grade.
I feel like that would have been like 2006, 2007.
So it would have been the end of 2007. Yeah.
Yeah. That
so Christmas of 2007 was kind of when we stopped.
Wow.
And the thing is, like, I started
a decade ago.
Yeah, so I started going to school. So I started going to school, Nigel was in school, so I guess schedules probably didn't really work. Being homeschooled, you can just take off school to go play. Oh, music class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, that was
Speaking
fun.
of homeschooling.
Yeah, so should we talk about our homeschool experiences a bit?
Yeah, sure.
So mine's probably the least memorable.
So you were homeschooled all the way through, right?
All the way through, yeah, up until college. My mom was a teacher, so she like knew already how to teach.
Yeah.
So, which I found out most of the homeschool moms were, which I thought was
Really?
interesting. Mrs. Jones was, I think Mrs. Vance was.
Huh.
So yeah, and was your mom?
No.
Okay.
I mean, she teaches now, but not like she teaches Spanish to like younger kids.
Oh, okay.
So she doesn't have like a teaching degree or license.
Gotcha. Yeah, mine was, I mean, about as it's a tough call. I was in a luckier situation where my parents, you know, so homeschoolers have this stigma of like very sheltered, which is all true, and like awkward and not
in a lot of cases.
Yeah, my mom and dad were always like very cool, and they had no problems with like Harry Potter or like, you know.
So your parents.
I feel like the only homeschool family I know that like did not adhere to any of those stereotypes is probably the Dussaults.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah. Like, at least to some degree.
Yeah.
Like, like you can say, like, oh, yeah, my parents were... But, I mean, still to some extent. Like, Dussaults, they just, like... They were, like, weren't sheltered at all.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of
that's
different
true.
stereotypes that don't really go together. So like, you could look at like the Joneses, who were like pretty sheltered early on.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Very sheltered.
Like I remember one time we were all gonna go see Santa Claus, and they didn't let them go because they didn't know what was in it, or like something we were like.
Because it was about Santa Claus.
Santans.
Yes. Santans.
But then there's also like the Vances, which were like the total opposite. Like they had no like.
Yeah.
But those are both kind of stereotypes. Like one's like the hippie family that doesn't care. The
Yeah.
other one's like the super conservative Christian family or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's like, I don't know.
I think I was a pretty good mix.
Because your parents were pretty moderate, like in
Yeah.
the sense like Harry Potter and like
Yeah.
video games. Like you got video game systems pretty early on. I remember it took forever just to convince our parents to buy a Wii. Because we were playing the N64 and it was like, it wasn't like the Wii was bad. It was just like, you guys spend so much time on the N64. Can't imagine how much time you're going to spend on the Wii. You know?
Sheesh. Yeah, that's
But, like,
interesting.
As with, I think, most families, like, as time goes on, they get more relaxed when they
Yeah.
figure out, like, because I would watch, like, PG-13 movies, like, pretty, like, early on and stuff, like, if they were fine. Like, Spider-Man was one of the first PG-13 movies I watched.
Nice.
But,
Cool. Yeah, so that's interesting. And
so you were talking about being sheltered, or
Yeah.
not being sheltered.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like anything interesting about that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was super sheltered, and then I realized later that I like was more sheltered than I thought, but
Yeah.
still not
Yeah.
like too sheltered. Like I didn't swear for a long time, and I don't know. I was more like logical, so I kind of decided stuff was dumb or whatever
Yeah.
before I was told not to do it.
Sure.
So instead of like being, I don't know, instead of needing to be sheltered, I just like kind of sheltered myself out of like logic instead. So I don't know. My parents just didn't have as much to work, so they didn't like do as much to like. They didn't have to tell me to not do stuff because I wouldn't.
It wasn't
do
like a
on my own.
battle to.
Yeah, it wasn't a fight. They like gave me advice if I like wasn't. If I was like gonna do something dumb, but they never like said like, "Hey, you're not allowed to do this." I would like
Right.
usually decide on my own, or
Yeah.
whatever. So that was like smooth sailing. And then as I got older and just got into more situations, I like learned what being sheltered was and what was like beneficial and what wasn't.
Yeah.
So honestly, it was. I think I had a good setup. Like I have no qualms with being homeschooled or anything like that. I think
That's
it was,
good.
and I didn't want to go to public school. That seemed like a nightmare. But I had friends that were like so sheltered that I was like, they're not going to be able to live in the world, like function in college or anything like that. So I was like lucky that I wasn't that, and I wasn't like, I wasn't wild as a kid anyway. So it's not like I would have needed restrictions, but I was very happy with that. So yeah, so how about you? Because high school was when you went to public school?
Yeah, well, 8th grade, so right before high school.
And why is that? Did you just all go to public school in 8th grade? Or
Well, we went to St. Michael's, so private school
oh yeah,
until high school, and then we went to
Right.
public school.
didn't you guys like start doing that all at once?
Yeah, so it all kind of happened. It was kind of like a decision. I want to say it's because. Actually, this is a good question. So I think it got to a point where my mom was, because we were at 6 kids at that point,
Oh
and
yeah.
5 of them were before high school. So I think it got to the point where she couldn't handle it. And like, for one thing, like I was pretty good at math, so I was doing like algebra, and she just like wasn't really. And we had these like programs like online that would like teach.
right.
So there was like that, but it was getting to the point where we were teaching ourselves, and she I guess felt that wasn't a good idea. I don't know, or she didn't want to handle that.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't like out of laziness either. but-
Right.
So
I mean,
yeah,
it's
we all
an impossible task.
Yeah.
With that many kids.
so we all decided, and she sent us to a private school, which is good because I think public school before a certain age is actually very dangerous.
I agree.
I think, but see, going to high school, I was already knew like I don't know, I had a moral compass at that point, and I couldn't be like brainwashed easily or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did that. 'cause,
So how did that work? Nigel was still homeschooled at the time then?
he was homeschooled all the way up till like junior year of high school, I think.
Okay. And then
he went to school. Yeah.
and then were your younger siblings still homeschooled until they got to
Well,
junior high, or did they just all at once everyone go to public school?
so my 3 youngest were like not even really in school. They were like one was too young. No, sorry, one of them wasn't even born yet. Another one was
A little
like
too young.
4 years old. Yeah. And the other one was going into first grade. So he like did
Okay.
kindergarten at home.
Oh,
But
okay.
like that doesn't really even like count.
Right.
Yeah.
And then my sister went into 5th grade. I went to 8th grade. So yeah, we all kind of jumped in.
Gotcha.
So some of them were essentially never homeschooled.
Gotcha.
If you
Huh.
do it that
That's
way.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's I
So it's like a spectrum of like how long we've been in school.
yeah. Weird.
Because we all just went at the same time.
Yeah. Nice. And how about you, Mitch? You were homeschooled all the way through. Right.
Indeed I was.
And what did you think about that experience?
I mean,
Well, I guess I should ask Seth. What did you think about? Did you like being homeschooled?
Yeah, I think it was definitely good. And I think it laid a good foundation for going into school later on. So yeah, it's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would homeschool my kids. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But I'm definitely like a fan of it in general. I think it's a good idea to at least consider.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Mitch. What you got?
Yeah. I mean, like, at the time, like, I don't know, it's weird how your perception on things change as you get older and stuff. I mean, like, I definitely, throughout school, did not want to go to public school.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's a lot of things that I didn't do when I was a kid that I look back on and think, man, I, like, kind of wish I would have been put in a position where I had to do these things.
So were you guys ever, when you were homeschooled, did you have the impression that like public school was evil? Was that like ever the impression for you guys?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Well, so
I mean, define evil.
I mean, like, were you scared to go to school, or did you just...
I wasn't,
Okay.
like, I think I was scared, like, socially.
Oh, sure.
Like, just because I didn't, I mean, to me, it was, like, a scary thought to, like...
Be away from home for...
I don't even know it was, like, being away from home, just the idea that it was just it seemed like a more pressurized environment,
for sure.
whereas at home, it was just...
it's just home.
Yeah, it was just my mom, and, like, if I needed, like, help with something, it wasn't, like, a big deal. I didn't have to feel, like, embarrassed or whatever.
So I'll say, I was a very nervous kid.
Sure.
I will say that the one thing that, if there was any detriment to homeschooling, it's that, like, I didn't come out of my shell for a while because I didn't have to. So the prospect of going to public school, for one thing, terrified me of just going and, like, I would never find the classrooms. Like, I hated being around people. And so I, like, really, really didn't want to go. And in fact, for the longest time, when I was, like, younger and didn't really know a whole lot about it, I, like, didn't want to go to college because I was like, I don't want to. I'm too, like, I'd be too scared to, like, go and try to find these classrooms and stuff. And my cousins did, like, online college for, like, a year, and I was like, dude, I'll just do that. I'll stay at home and get my college degree. So for me,
DeVry University, or whatever it's called.
Forgot about those commercials. So yeah, I was, like, just nervous and didn't want to deal with it. And the only people I knew that I was, like, close friends with in public school was, like, my cousins and stuff. And I hung out with him quite a bit. And he went to Findlay, which was, like, a horrendous high school.
I mean, I wouldn't say horrendous.
The stories that I heard were all very bad.
Well, I'm sure you can find terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't that bad.
Overall, I think it was. I mean,
you thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. Depends how you define that.
Yeah,
you can find your way, and you can find good people there.
Okay. So I just heard some bad stories about it, and I was like, dude, I don't want to have to ever do this. So I was, like, against it. To that degree. And obviously since then I've, like, come way out of my shell because I'm an adult now. But
I was just gonna say, because I know not all homeschoolers are like this, but I've definitely, like, I remember growing up kind of thinking, like, going to, like, public school is evil. Like, that sounds extreme, but it, like, over time it became, like, obviously it evolved to a point where I was comfortable going to school. Yeah. But I remember being like, oh, you wouldn't send your kids to school if you really cared about them, kind of thing. I don't know. Wow. Like, maybe, like, I don't know. These are kind of just stereotypes. But I remember, so Nigel went to school, I think, a year before the rest of us did. And that was, like, a big deal. Like, it was almost like, wow. That was almost, like, considered, like, a scandal. Like, in the homeschool group, like, oh, one of them was going to school, like, they sold out, like, kind of thing.
Oh,
like, I almost got that vibe from people.
Yeah.
But it was weird because, like, it kind of set a chain reaction because a lot of older people started going to, like, did you notice that? Like, shortly after people started kind of going to school? Like, I'm trying to think of who. But, I don't know. It just kind of, I always kind of got that vibe that it was, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. I get you on that. So, Mitch, on your thing of, like, you feel like you missed out on opportunities. or situations you would have been in? Any like specific instances? Of that?
I don't. Probably nothing specific. Just the idea that like
you didn't have to be put in these situations.
Right.
So
I just think it would have been good for me to like be in more uncomfortable situations. I guess
that's fair.
Like,
like socially, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the idea of like giving a presentation to me was like I was like, I'll sooner just kill myself than have to do this presentation.
So you
like the one thing that I find interesting is like the one thing I always heard growing up as like justification for being homeschooled is like this thing that I always heard parents say, and I think my parents would say from time to time, is like they always talk about, oh, you know, parents that don't homeschool their kids are always like, how are your kids gonna learn to like be social and blah blah blah, all this stuff. And they would always say like, well, we're not like training our kids to be social, we're like training them to like operate in the real world for a career, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And I'm like looking back on it, I'm like, I feel like I would like be operating in the real world better if I went to public school, honestly. Yeah,
it's interesting.
Just because
being social is such a big part of it.
Yeah.
So you would say
it feeds into everything else that you do in life.
That's fair.
So you would say the homeschool group activities and stuff weren't
social
adequate for being.
Probably not, because it was way too voluntary, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't do in the homeschool.
So you weren't pushed farther,
right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But do you think if you were pushed, that would make up for not going to school? Like, do you think
it's
the
hard to say.
experience of going to school could be replaced by something like that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I would say that I knew a few people that did a lot of like extracurricular stuff, and they were the ones that were the most normal. Like a friend of mine, like he like did music lessons and like took karate and did like play stuff with like the one group in town. I can't think of it now. But
and see, that's all stuff that I didn't care about.
Yeah,
and still don't.
And I didn't either.
But
I
at
took
the same
music
time,
lessons, but that was it.
But at the same time, like, just if I would have been like forced to like take karate lessons or whatever, and just do all this other extracurricular stuff,
You think it would have been good?
Yeah, I think
in hindsight.
Yeah, I think it would have benefited me.
I think I should have done more. That I didn't want to.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, but
I think
the other thing is like with voluntary stuff like that, there's a lot more like peer pressure in public school to like do that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Which also makes it lights a fire under your butt to like want to do those things even if you don't want to.
That's
true. Makes sense.
That's true.
Because like, oh well, I have friends doing it, and it's like something that popular people do, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So did you guys have like what you would consider close friends, or would you just have like acquaintances, like growing up?
I would say like anyone I knew were like close friends. I had very
so like when you went to like capture
acquaintances.
the flag, did you like the people there? Did you hang out with
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually really interesting. I don't think I had a best friend until I was like 12 or 13. Which I don't know if that's like, I don't know how that ranges. Everyone that I've heard of is like, oh dude, we were best friends since 4th grade. Like, I never had that.
Well,
like,
not even best friend, but like a very close friend. Like you would hang out one-on-one all the time.
I didn't hang out with anyone for a long time. Like one-on-one, almost never. And then I started playing basketball and saw people like 2-3 days a week. And there I got to know Isaac really well.
Nice,
hung out with him a lot. And then through him I met Tommy. Hung out with him a lot.
Well, like how old were we when I used to like come spend the night at your house?
Oh, that's right. I guess
because I would consider us pretty close at that point.
Yeah, we were pretty close, but we still never like. I didn't like call you up and say, "Hey, let's hang out." Our parents would set stuff up.
Yeah,
which was
or
fine,
like your sister or my sister was already going over. So I guess I'll go over.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't say like I did not have friends, but I didn't go out of my way to hang out with friends until like probably it would have been like 12 or 13, I think, and then from Tommy I met Aaron, who's another guy. He's another dude.
Whoa, another guy.
And
not the same guy.
I remember, and then so
he's
I like
in fact a different person than Tommy.
Yeah.
What?
They're all different guys from each other. So I like actually would like call them up
Nice.
And I'd like call their home phone and say, "Can I talk to Tommy?"
Hi, this is Sam. Can I speak to Tommy?
Yeah, and, like, "Can you come over today?" And then we'd like get our parents to drive us over and stuff. But
Nice.
so I did that, and then one summer I like didn't hang out with Isaac at all. For I don't really remember why. I think we just, I don't know. I just like didn't have similar interests or something. So we just like didn't hang out, and I hung out with Tommy like every day because he just moved like 5 miles from my house.
Yeah.
So we would bike over like every day.
Nice.
So that summer I hung out with him like every day, and
You
Aaron,
and Tommy seem like such an unlikely friendship in my
I know, dude. And yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
weird.
always thought he was like a super nice kid.
Oh, he's
but,
one of the nicest guys I know.
But still, he's
It's
such a
unusual.
jock.
It's very unusual. Yeah, we're opposite
Yeah.
in almost every other degree.
Yeah.
But we played video games together all the time.
Yeah.
And stuff, bringing people together.
Trampoline.
And dude, we were on that trampoline all the time.
Good times.
So then I hung out with Aaron a lot. So whenever one was busy, I would hang out with the other. Like I would just
Nice.
alternate whoever was free, or I'd hang out with both or whatever.
Yeah.
But and then like a year or two later, I found out that Aaron was moving to England because his dad got a job there.
Whoa.
And I remember thinking like
England.
like 50% of my friends are leaving. It's like I've got to do so, and that's when I was like I've got to actually like try to talk to people and like make new friends.
Shoot, that's like a subject for another podcast. But
What?
Well, I want to talk about like
Friends.
well, like what you just said is like my mindset lately,
Oh, that's true.
and like I'm like just now like
That's
experiencing this. And
Well,
I wanna,
okay,
like, speak
maybe-
to that at some point.
Maybe I'll leave that there. So
Okay.
stuff happens after that.
Yeah.
That actually gets pretty interesting that we can talk about on another podcast. But I'll leave it at that for now. But either way, so yeah, growing up, I would probably say part of it was being homeschooled. I just didn't, apart from the homeschool events, which were like once a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really hang out with people unless our parents set something up.
Yeah.
Which happened frequently enough, but most of the time, yeah, I would just like get up and just do stuff at home. And I never wanted friends. Like never thought about not having friends.
And that's
but I, like,
in
didn't.
some way a good thing. I think
Yeah.
obviously you don't want to be a loner, but being able to like just have fun without having to like call up your friends.
People don't know how to be alone.
I think
As a
exactly.
general rule.
Yeah.
I think there's a very good balance that's healthy.
So, how about the rest of your homeschool experience, Mitch? Any other like? Is you and your brother you're both homeschooled all the way through? I assume.
Yeah, my brother went to public school
Early on.
to like 2nd or 3rd grade or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And did you like have friends growing up and stuff?
Yeah. Like I always had like at least one best friend, I think.
Nice. That you like actively hung out with, or just whenever they were around?
I mean, like, I probably had. Actively hung out with. It's hard to like actively hang out when you can't drive and stuff.
Well, that's
So-
true. That's true. Well, you didn't have like my parents would always offer to drive,
Oh, yeah.
or like their parents.
Anything to get rid of us for a little
Yeah,
while.
exactly.
But like,
Exactly.
we also didn't have internet until
Oh.
Oh.
I was like, trying to think. Well, we had dial-up.
That's
Dude,
not
I remember
internet.
having dial-up
That barely
too.
Yeah,
qualifies
barely
as
qualifies.
internet.
Yeah.
But like for a while we didn't have that, and I'm trying to think like when we actually got dial-up, and like that was like it's like,
That was, like, a-
dial-up was already like on its way out by the
It was,
time
like,
we
free
actually
at that point.
yeah by the time we actually got dial-up. I don't remember how old I was, but I was probably like 12. I guess.
Wow.
Dang.
At that point,
So-
we had like Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, it was friends like from church and homeschool stuff, but like you couldn't really like actively hang out or like make plans. It all had to be done through the parental units.
Right.
So
So here's something funny. I don't know if you guys ever did this. Probably not, because it was kind of. I mean, I don't know. So we would do this thing like every once in a while where our family would invite another homeschool family over, and we would do our school together. Like obviously
I feel
we had
like
separate,
did that
like we had like separate curriculum, but we would all
Yeah.
like do our school together, and we'd all take a lunch break. We'd all like parents would cook for us, and then we'd like.
That
Finish
sounds
school.
really familiar.
Did you do that with us ever? I don't know if you did. Maybe
I don't know if I did with you.
I know
but
the
that
Vances.
sounds
The
familiar.
Vances
now.
did it all the time. We would trade off houses. We would do
Dude.
that, and it was like really cool because it was like we did our school, but then we got to like hang out. And it was like I don't know,
Dude, that sounds
a
familiar.
social way to do homeschooling,
Yeah.
which was cool.
Wow. I that sounds like very, very vaguely familiar.
Yeah, I'm sure we did it at least once with you guys.
You probably did. Wow, I forgot about that, dude.
There's that,
That's a good idea.
which I think that was good, and like, yeah, I mean I felt like because I had like Tony, Phil, Nick. We were like friends growing up,
Mhm.
and like we were always hanging out like at the events and stuff. So like I never felt like I don't know, I didn't have friends or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hung out with like the same,
Yeah,
similar crowd. Like, I mean, basically the same. But do you remember that it always used to be like? I thought this was so funny. We always used to segregate boys and girls.
yes, that was definitely a thing.
Every time, like up in, like for the whole thing, like up through high school and stuff,
Yeah.
and then towards
Eighth
my
grade dance.
towards my last few years in it, after you were gone, my like
After we left, it just fell apart, right?
at like junior senior year, I was there, but not very much.
Sure.
Like, because I was taking college classes and like kind of becoming
Like
a
no one
sociable
really your age
adult.
was even really there anymore.
Yeah, because it was just Nick was the only one.
you
My
were kind of on
age.
the younger end of that group, and
Mhm.
there were people way younger than you.
But like the last few years, like we started sitting with like all of us together.
Really?
Yeah, it was really interesting because like
It's kind of cool.
I would like sit with, I don't even remember. It would have been like Moira and Caroline and
Yeah.
Naomi, or no, she wouldn't have been there either,
Maybe.
unless she just was there to hang out.
Oh,
and stuff.
probably not then.
But yeah, we kind of like all started sitting there.
Well, I guess
and,
your
like,
groups
hanging out
got
together.
smaller, and you just kind of had to
Yeah,
merge.
yeah. I thought that was.
That's cool. Yeah, we were definitely like a bunch of punks, just like
I love
celebrating
that.
and like
I love
trying
that,
to pull
dude.
pranks on the girls or whatever.
Yeah, that was so fun. Oh yeah, good times.
Oh, did you ever go to Field Day? Do you remember that?
Yeah. So, once a year, Mitch, we did this field day where we like went out to River
Riverside,
Bend.
Riverbend.
Is it Bend?
The one that doesn't have the pool.
Yeah, the one that's out of town by the reservoir.
Yeah.
I think that's Bend.
Okay.
Yeah. So not
Get
for
like
River
one of
Bend.
those huts. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, the
and then
shelter things,
Yeah.
and we like would all cook out.
Oh, I think I went to it.
Did you really?
It was the Catholic
something
group,
similar.
so you probably
it was
wouldn't
probably
have
open
been
to everyone. At that. I mean, towards the end, I think
True,
they
yeah,
kind of merged.
yeah.
In a way.
there. So maybe you were there, but every
So like
every
you'd
summer
pack
we
a
did that.
lunch or like grill out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
each family would like have
Remember
a
you got
picnic.
KFC, like the big bucket of chicken.
We did that once because it was my mom's birthday, so we like got
Oh,
KFC,
nice.
which was kind of cool.
I remember seeing that.
And then we would do
being
like
jealous.
sport events. Like there's one time where the dads ran it and they did like all these like events, which was
kickball and
kinda
stuff.
fun. Yeah, and they have like prizes at the end, like a pinata or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so
That's
I
so
remember
fun.
that being pretty fun.
I remember that being really fun. Yeah, that was dope.
Dopamine.
That was dopamine.
Doper Winfrey.
Dopamine.
Man, so
What else was homeschooling?
yeah.
Okay, did you guys when you were this is kind of random, but when it was your birthday and it was a school day, did you get the day off of school? That was always a rule in our house, and since I had like a bunch of siblings, it was actually pretty frequent.
Dude, I don't.
So like if my birthday landed
No, I
on
don't
Tuesday,
think
like nobody
so.
had to do school on Tuesday. Really?
Dude,
can't
yeah, I don't
remember.
recall. I don't recall getting the day off.
Like it just kind
Well,
of.
mine's on New Year's Eve, so.
Oh, you probably always had it off.
But I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I would have because of the holiday.
Yeah, I mean it's like.
Yeah,
really
I get.
has
Yeah, I
fun.
guess I did, but it wasn't because of my birthday. Because I don't think. I
Yeah.
think we got my sister's birthday off. I don't think.
Yeah, that would always be a thing. It was if it was someone's
That's-
birthday, no one had to do school. And
That's
just-
hilarious.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And then okay, what'd you guys do like for lunch? Did you get to like have like one TV show to watch or anything like that?
I think I did whatever I wanted.
Really?
Oh,
Like for how long?
At
though?
one-
Like an hour?
I don't think there was like time limits, like specific time limits. It was just kind of like whenever my mom was like, "Okay, that's enough."
I remember we would all take like a pretty like common time, where because my mom would normally like make lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and we would
Yeah.
all eat, and then we'd go back to school, and we would like watch like The Price is Right always came on.
Yes.
Between
Dude.
11 and 12.
Yep.
Did you
Dude,
watch that?
Yes.
I watched that. a
So that
bit.
was at one period of time that was like the go-to like every day we'd watch The Price is Right. You get pretty
It's
good at
every
like
day,
guessing
bro.
the scores.
It's every day.
Sometimes we would watch movies though. I feel like
Yeah, I mean, I'd play
sometimes we could get away
like
with the
PC
movie.
games.
Yeah, it was normally like an hour, basically.
I think mine was an hour. I think I usually
Yeah.
watch 1 to 2 episodes of like a cartoon or
Yeah.
something, or like probably Digimon.
Did you?
Play Rayman 2.
Oh yeah.
Because like yeah, my dad was always on second shift
Oh yeah.
like
Wait, what time?
back
would
in the
that be?
day. That's like,
That's like
he would like go
overnight.
to work at like 1, so my mom would be making him lunch anyway, like before he left. So that's we'd like do lunch break at like noon, 12:30, whatever, and like while she was doing that or like making it, I would like play Rayman 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I did that. Yeah, I would get
Did
like a
you-
break. It was about an hour. It wasn't like a set time though. I don't think.
Yeah. Did you guys ever do K-12 online school or anything like that?
My sister did that 1 year.
We did that for a few years. I remember kind of liking it.
My brother did like satellite through like BJU or a couple Bob Jones University. They had like a satellite high school
Really?
classes. Yeah.
Huh.
That's kind of cool.
Did you like it?
I think so. Like I wasn't really like, hey bro, how do you like
Well,
yeah.
how do you like school on the
Nobody
on
asks
the
those
TV?
kind of questions at that age.
Yeah. But I think so. I think it was something different.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Did you-
remember also, I don't know if this was with K-12 or not, but like, you guys remember, like, did you just do school until a certain time, or did you have to do X, Y, and Z before you're done for the day? Like, how did you guys do that?
It was basically X, Y, and Z. You
Okay.
had like, the
You guys
subjects
ever-
that you had to do and do like one lesson. Or
Yeah. Did you
however
ever,
much.
like, finish before lunch, like, on a lucky day or anything? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember,
Oh, yeah.
I remember doing that a few times. It's always like you don't know until the day of if you're
Yeah.
going to have enough material. And then one time, I got real smart and I started doing, there was like this vocabulary thing that's part of my school, and it was like super easy. It was just busy work. I would do that at night so that I wouldn't have to do it the next morning. So basically, I was shifting
Yeah,
everything
just
over.
shifting
And
it
then my
over.
mom was
do
like,
that
please don't do
sometimes,
that.
too.
Like, I don't know why she didn't want me to.
Yeah.
But I was getting done with school at like 10 a.m. every day. And then I would just do like another hour at night, basically.
That's so.
Because
funny.
at that point, it's basically like you're skipping school and then doing it the rest later.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
though you're ahead technically.
Yeah.
She didn't like that for some reason.
I had a mix of the two where I had like so much to do of lessons and stuff, but sometimes if they'd take a long time and it was like after 5, my mom would just stop for the day. So it was kind of like
we definitely wouldn't like go to 8 if we didn't finish.
yeah. So but yeah, same thing. So towards the end, I had to do like math. I did these math lessons where I like did the CD. I like watched the video of
Saxon?
it. Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
Saxon math. Or I did Saxon for a while, and then this was something else.
Okay.
Because Saxon was like too hard for me towards the end. But I like watched the CD, and then I had to do the lesson. I did like 30 problems or something.
Yeah.
And I did that, and then I remember it was like a few weeks before the end of the year, so I had like 20 or 30 lessons. And every day I did like 7 lessons. Spent like a ton of time.
You're only
a ton
supposed to do
of them.
one?
Yeah, I only needed to do one.
Or, yeah.
But I just started doing a ton of them because I was like, if I can finish this up, I don't have to do math again. So I did like the last day, I did like 7 lessons or something. I remember posting a thing on Facebook about it. Just
Really?
being like, I did 7 lessons of math today, so I'm done for the year now. Or something. I should try to find that.
Oh, man. The awkward first year
I
of
mean,
Facebook.
I'll look for that while we talk. Yeah, dude. Oh my
Cringeworthy
gosh.
statuses.
Oh boy.
Dude, that's a good topic.
Oh,
I'm gonna write that down as a topic.
Cringeworthy Facebook statuses.
Hot ideas. Old Facebook
Oh yeah.
statuses. Well, in that case, I'll leave this out for now.
Okay.
That we've got to do that though. That's so good. What other childhood things? I think that's all I got for
Yeah.
homeschool stuff.
If we're moving out of the homeschool thing, which
Mhm.
this kind of goes with it, but so like I was saying earlier, Nigel got into. Okay, actually, let's go back because this is probably before he started getting into film. We had a tape recorder and we would make like shows on it.
Dude.
So we do like the one thing that was like ended up sticking pretty well was the radio show. So it'd be like Seth and Nigel in the morning or whatever. And what we would do is we would pretend it was like a radio show, and then like, all right, here's the next song, Switchfoot or whatever, and we'd play that song. But then me and Nigel would play it with the song. So it was like a live like radio show basically. And that ended up evolving. And like we even did one. I think Nigel would have been in high school. So that show lasted like 5 to 10 years. Like
That's what me and my brother did.
yeah. because you guys did like
It was like comedy,
sketch comedy,
yeah,
or whatever.
sketch comedy stuff.
Dude.
It was like a weird. It was almost like a weird Howard Stern kind of. It was just like segments and just like.
Yeah.
It really was like a podcast.
Variety show?
Yeah, like a variety show with like comedy sketches.
Yeah, because we had like this old tape recorder. I think it was my mom's tape recorder or something. It was like super
we used
like
my
70s
dad's like
looking.
Pioneer tape deck.
It had like a wood finish on it. It was like that's how you know it's 70s. You know? But we would do that tape recordings and make like dumb shows that we would do, and then eventually that moved to video because my mom like brought out the cassette video camera, whatever, and like she was like teaching us like how to use it and like how to make stuff. And Nigel just picked it. Obviously, he was the oldest, so first of all, she trusted him with the camera more, and he like naturally had an instinct or like interest where our interest was like just running around like in front of the camera like waving and stuff. So like it made sense that happened. But eventually that evolved to me and Nigel making dumb home videos.
Dude, I
all
love
the
those,
time.
man. Though some of those were really good.
Some of them are pretty amazing.
Me and Evan did some of that for a while because like we got out our parents' old handy cam, Sony handy cam.
Dude.
Yeah, that they got like right after he was born because they're like, oh, we have a kid now. We need to like record stuff that he does. So this was like 1991 Sony handy cam.
Nice. Is that
And
the
we,
one that's
like
like the tiny cassette? Or
Yeah,
how
yeah,
does
it was
That's
like-
what we
yeah,
had.
yep.
and then you can put it into
But-
a bigger
but-
cassette adapter.
Yeah,
This
that's
was like-
exactly what we did.
Like when we started getting on that was like I don't even know what year. It was probably at least like 2006 or something. So you couldn't like we didn't have those tapes anymore, and you can't get them anywhere because they're like
Dead.
yeah they're dead.
Dang,
So-
so you lost all that?
Well, no, like what we had to do was Evan ran like whatever the like VGA cables to like our DVD, HDD, like
Thingy.
yeah thingy that you would use to like record stuff from TV.
Yeah.
So he would just like run the feed from the camera into that. So we're just like
Nice.
tied to this freaking DVD player basically, so that we could
Wow.
record onto the hard drive
Oh man,
in
that's
that
smart.
with the handy cam.
Nice.
So we would like film. We could only film like in our kitchen where it was at, and then we have like a large bay window in the kitchen. So we would just like turn it if we needed to like do stuff outside and just shoot out through the window.
Wow.
So we like did this like fake newscast one time. That was
Fake newscast.
yeah, like really funny. Like it just opened like Evan wore this like suit jacket and like put a tie on over his t-shirt. And it just like opens on him like he's not ready. He's like really like slowly and methodically wiping up some water that he spilled on the news desk, and he just like double takes on the camera, and then he just like starts. And we had like this segment where we like went to some meteorologist in the field to report on a hurricane. It was like really windy that day, so we just like panned to shoot out the bay window, and it's also Evan. And he's like made up this name on the spot. He's like, I'm Abu Kadujana.
That's so good.
I know.
Abu Kadusha.
Abu Kadujana.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I mean,
like,
we're writing
any
a
of-
song called Abu Kadusha
Yeah.
now, right?
We have to, at least as a temporary name.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember much more about it.
Dude, so I have on my phone. Obviously, you can't see this through your recording, but this is the first thing that we like ever did, basically. So, did you guys ever watch the Amanda Show?
Oh, dude, yeah.
So it was
Amanda
like
Show.
it was basically a kids SNL. It was like super like satirical, basically.
Yeah.
And it was like actually still kind of funny.
It was pre-Drake and Josh, but maybe the same people.
It was the same like main
Drake and
guy.
Josh were both on it because they announced that they were doing their own show from an episode of the Amanda Show.
So we did the Naomi Show. So this is like 2001 maybe. You like, can't understand anything she's saying. And then here's
This is 2 hours long?
so I'm like 6 maybe there.
Wait, how long?
Then we,
This
dude,
is 2 hours.
I'm not telling you to watch the whole
No,
thing.
I know, but I'm just like really
That's Elijah.
surprised.
This is Nigel. Look at him.
It's just incredible.
So we're doing all these like,
Dude, also
a lot of it was just straight up ripping off the Amanda
I was
Show.
gonna say Totally Kyle was the name of the sketch
Yeah, yeah.
in the
So we
original.
straight up ripped off a lot of it, and then we eventually like evolved and like made our own things.
Wow, dude.
But
That's insane. So after we met you guys and saw that you were doing videos, I wanted to get into videos.
Yeah, and
So
then you got like a camera. For
I got a
Christmas,
camera. Yeah, I bought a camera, and we Story and I started doing some really dumb sketch ones that were so much fun though.
Oh yeah.
Like we did one about RLS, which is obviously restless lung syndrome.
Restless lungs.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Is that not obvious?
So
Restless.
but we just like it's like it's like laying on my bed. It's like I have RLS, restless lung syndrome, and I can't stop breathing.
I can't stop breathing.
Because it really stands for restless leg syndrome. Right?
Yeah.
But we were just like restless lung syndrome. And I was just like,
I just can't stop breathing.
Photosynthesis.
But I can't think of any of the others. I know I have those saved somewhere too, so I'll have to dig those up.
My brother got like a point and shoot camera one year. Yeah. It's like
How
a
all
point and
cameras
shoot,
work.
a point and shoot like digital camera.
Point and shoot gun.
Yeah, point and shoot gun.
One of them point and shoot thingies.
And we like you could actually record some video on it. But this was like before, like we had the same computer from like 2001 till like 2009. And that was when my brother got his first job and like graduated high school and had a bunch of money to buy a MacBook. That was when
That must have been an upgrade there.
yeah, that was
Quite the upgrade.
we had one computer our entire lives from 2001 until 2009.
That's insane, dude.
So at the time, like you couldn't do anything with this, like the stuff that we recorded on the digital camera, because it was just like an SD card, and like our computer was so shit that like it just couldn't handle video at all.
Oh wow.
So we like couldn't do anything with it or edit it, but we did like these sketches where like Evan was this like Tony Hawk like character. I wish I could. Yeah, I don't remember, but I just remember like he would just do like the lamest tricks and act like he was the sweetest
Like
thing ever.
parkour tricks or something?
No, like
Actually
he would ride
skateboarding?
his bike.
Oh, his bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he got a moped
Oh,
at
nice.
some point. I don't think he had it, and then he like sold it shortly thereafter. So I don't think he had it at this time. But he had like one of those, like hardcore like biker helmets.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
that. So he'd like wear that on just a regular bicycle, and like we had like our driveway's like on an incline kind of. So we'd like go up to the road and come down the driveway in like the most dramatic way possible. It's like not even that inclined, but just like he's gonna get up this tremendous speed, and then I'd like follow behind him, and he wouldn't even like he'd do like weird hand motions. Like these were the tricks that he was doing, and he would like keep doing that, like so he wasn't using his hands or like pedaling at all. He's just like doing this as he's coming down the thing. So he would just like wait until he lost momentum, so he would like fall over. And then he'd like fall over and like roll over. And I just remember him going, "I can't feel my chin." It was just like the most random body part you could think of to like not be able to feel. I can't feel my chin. That's actually because later he's like, "Man, I should have said spleen."
Feel my
I can't feel my spleen because you can't feel that at all.
So what? Were you normally the one recording and he was like the actor, or
Yeah,
was it
because
pretty even?
No, he was normally the
Oh,
one in
okay.
front of the camera because I just wasn't like, in like an outgoing
You didn't
person
like
at all.
want, because I think with me, I don't even know if I wanted to be the subject, or it was just because Nigel always wanted to record. I don't really remember a desire to like record. Like it just kind of, we both fit the roles that way.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is fun, I guess.
I was kind of an even split.
Okay.
I probably recorded a little bit more just because I was like, it was my camera, so
Right,
I didn't
that
want
makes
other
sense.
people to use it. Well,
Yeah.
honestly, but I find it interesting that like all of us did like short film, sketch comedy,
Yeah.
whatever stuff growing up. But I remember you did podcasts, and you gave them to me.
Yes,
And I
so
still have
these
them.
are these are basically the radio shows
Those-
we did.
Oh, those were part of the radio shows?
Yeah.
Those are
So those were
gold. I would listen to those for fun all the time.
so those were like what do you call it? They made like a comeback. Like we kind of went to video, and then
Okay.
this would have been maybe like
It's
2008.
like a reboot.
Yeah, this was kind of like the era of like us being in the band, kind of around that time.
Okay.
We started recording again because I guess we got a better mic, and like Nigel was able to like edit the audio a little bit, and like so it wasn't a tape recording.
You got
it was, like,
Audacity.
it was direct. Yeah, it was on Audacity. It was like directly to the computer.
Yeah.
So we did the radio show. We still did that. The musical taste evolved a little bit, I guess, like Under Oath and stuff. And then, yeah, we did. So we did Banana. So it was Bananas Comedy, which Mitch. It's funny. You're kind of connected just because I know you and Evan watched that.
Yeah.
It was like a Christian comedy show, like stand-up
They
comedy.
actually like shot it in Columbus.
Yeah, they shot in Columbus, which is cool.
Whoa, that's
Like,
where.
somewhere close to where we are.
No
already-
one can know this.
We already said we weren't going to say it. So it was basically a stand-up comedy, and every week they'd have a stand-up comedian, but he'd be not necessarily like Christian, like explicitly, but like clean comedy. Stand-up that was like clean.
Gotcha.
Family.
And it was, I thought a lot of them were, some of them weren't that great, but a lot of them were actually really funny.
Oh, nice.
And we would watch that, like, it would come on TV like once a week, maybe.
Yeah, it was like on Fridays.
Yeah, on Fridays it would come
Friday
on some
nights.
like weird
'Cause I
local
remember
channel.
we would like have homeschool basketball.
And you'd come home and
yeah,
then
and
watch
you'd come
it.
home and
Yeah,
watch
I feel like that sounds familiar.
Nice.
So basically, me and Nigel made a parody of that called Potatoes Comedy.
Potato.
And what we did,
Oh, that's what that's about.
yeah, and it was basically, the idea was supposed to be that it wasn't like, it was the worst stand-up ever, but it was so bad it was good. It was like anti-stand-up, basically. Like we just make it would be totally improvised. It would be like, oh, one time I went to this place, and it's just like this contrived
And
story of like
they
the
were
most
playing
ridiculous
billiards.
thing. Playing billiards.
I
I have
love-
it on my phone if you guys want to listen to this segment. Or whatever.
Yes.
But
I love that we
You
all
should
did that.
like go back and dub them in.
yeah, I can send them to you.
I'll
Like,
do that.
if you-
Yeah.
If you don't already have them.
You only gave me a few.
Yeah.
But I had the biggest gainer.
The biggest,
The
yes.
Biggest
So the biggest gainer, that was a parody, obviously, of the Biggest Loser,
I
and it
love
was
that one.
so
That
the
was
Biggest
so
Loser is
good.
people go to this
Ugh.
ranch and they lose weight. And it's like a reality show. This one was like basically like skinny or like anorexic people would come on and they'd have to gain weight, and it'd be like so hard. They're like, all right, like the trainer would be like, all right, guys, eat 5 Big Macs, like,
Dude,
and then take a nap, and then it's like so
Take
stupid.
a
It was
nap.
really funny. I thought that one was actually like a little bit more like it followed like a structure rather than
Yeah,
just like
that was funny.
random jokes that sometimes
And
were even funny.
The like, what was it was the Postman or something?
Oh, so there's a show called That Darn Chiropractor.
That darn
That-
chiropractor.
So it was
yeah,
about
yeah.
this chiropractor who was totally incompetent, and he would just break people's backs or something.
Yeah.
And
there's
then
one
he'd
about-
have to. Every episode was him trying to get a new job and then screwing it up. So like, I guess the episode I sent you was when he was the postal delivery guy and he like delivered the wrong stuff. It was totally ridiculous and stuff.
Dude, I love those. Those
Yeah.
were so funny. And then
And
I think
then-
I had like 1 potatoes or something.
Yeah. So that was part of what we did, and then towards the end when we kind of ran out of. Well, I shouldn't say that, but we started getting into doing dubs of movies, where we would.
Yeah.
So it started off with just Nigel recording. He'd set up the camera on a tripod. We'd play like Spider-Man, mute it. I would voice everything, like just make it up on the spot, and he would be over on the computer doing real-time sound effects, like which like sometimes just like didn't sound good at all. It actually made it more funny. It'd be like the worst sound effect. Like someone would like get punched in the face and be like a bomb explosion sound, just like because he couldn't get to the right sound in time, so he just hit the first thing he found or whatever. But eventually, he got to the point where he would set up a camera, and we had microphones that went to the computer, and we would both dub it, which made it more funny, I think, because we were both like bantering, and it was like a little bit more like unpredictable because you couldn't just think ahead of what you're gonna say because you had to base it off the other person.
Dude,
And then he would go back later and add sound effects to it.
that's such a good idea.
Yeah,
We
and then
should,
me and Mitch did one.
Did you?
This would have been what, a year and a half ago, maybe.
Really?
It would have been like,
I think it was like summer of
2
like
years ago.
summer of 15, maybe.
yeah, that's probably.
Or
Dude.
yeah, so we did The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, nice.
It's so bad, but it's so good.
Dude,
we'll have to show you sometime. We can all three watch it. Or
Dude,
something.
I'm down to do that. I haven't seen the original movie, so that
Oh, you
might be
haven't?
even funnier.
Yeah, so like the thing is, me and Nigel did The Dark Knight back in like around high school.
I remember you showing me pieces of that.
Yeah. And then we did a sequel with me and Mitch, and we kind of based the story like it sort of continued in a way, which is funny.
Dude, we should do one of those.
Yeah, dude. You got to watch them to get the feel for it.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
figure out. But that was another thing we did.
I'll put that up on my YouTube channel for sure. We should do that. I'd totally do that, dude.
Yeah,
boy.
Me and my brother had this like running series that we did on our like sketch comedy like recordings or whatever, which was like a parody of Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
You showed me that one. That was so good.
Yeah, we actually went and like put those on like MP3 CDs. So
and those are like good quality. Like you edited them and like made it pretty.
Wow.
Yeah, those were funny. I want to listen to that again.
Yeah.
I kind of forget why it was funny, but I remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a premise of one of them. Oh, one of them was
like their names were really weird, and there would be like sound effects as
so
their
like,
names.
Like if you ever like, maybe this is like slightly before your time, Sam, but like, I don't remember how long like Extreme Makeover Home Edition was like a big thing.
Couple years maybe.
Yeah, it like was though.
I remember it being a
like,
big
everyone
thing.
was watching.
Yeah,
but I didn't ever really watch.
But it was just like the
clips.
premise was always the same. It was just like
a sad family.
yeah,
like,
sad, down on their luck family.
Mm-hmm.
Someone died.
or like they lost their job, and it's always like they're really nice people who
Yeah.
just had bad luck or whatever.
Yeah.
And like even like all the stuff that like the like renovation team and like design team all did, it was always like the same kind of stuff, like the same episode, like like this person likes the horses, so we're gonna give him a horse room, or just dumb stuff. So like
this kid really likes basketball, so we give a basketball theme room. Or
Yeah.
it's like
it was
really
just like
personalized.
that kind of meme. Like every episode is the same. So like we did one with like the hippie family. So like so they like named their kids like after sounds, because there's like there are no like names in nature. Like those are all like human constructs.
Can I just say that the concepts that we all dealt with when we were making these like comedic things are actually like really good concepts. like you're talking about making a comedy show that's like in nature so bad that it's good. That's like a deep theory for a kid to come up with.
It's like a deep comedy theory.
Yeah, and like
either that or we're just stupid and
yeah,
having
like,
it be funny.
stupid. Yeah, it's just funny how like these were like we thought about the details of this. It wasn't just like let's just make a dumb show. It's like,
and if we weren't homeschooled, we probably wouldn't have time to think of it.
Right.
Exactly.
So like
cool.
like their names were sounds because there are no like names in nature.
I love that.
But they did like decide, because they like their kids like go to school, so they decided to give them like actual names because they thought that would be like difficult for them going to public school and stuff with and I like used my Game Boy and like jerry rigged like the headphone jack into the freaking tape deck, and like that was like on a Kirby's Dream Land. There was like a menu where you could like play sound effects that were in the game.
Dude,
yeah.
Amazing.
So that's what like those were the sound effects for their names. It was like Kirby's Dream Land sounds. But yeah, so like we gave them actual names because we thought that would be difficult. So like it was like Sundance, Rainchild, and Freebird.
Well, my real name is.
Yeah.
Oh man, do you have that right now?
I don't think I have it on my phone. But yeah, I'll have to get that to you.
I've got to hear
can,
that.
like, put a clip in there.
Yeah.
And there was another one with like, so we like parodized like the tragic death in the family thing that they always do. So like we heard about this story at like around that time where like someone died like under a pile of manure.
That was actually a thing in one of the episodes?
No, this was like an unrelated like story in the news that we heard. So we like wanted to like parodize the tragic death thing
they, like,
with
fell
like that.
in a vat of like pig feces.
I don't remember. I just remember he like died in manure. He like asphyxiated.
Yeah.
Which is the line that we used. That was like
I
hilarious
remember
to say
that.
asphyxiated in manure. So like one of
So
the
that was like the reason they won the contest.
yeah.
because-
So then like at the end they like built this memorial. And it was like a tractor with like a bucket load full of manure that like dumps onto like a statue of like their grandpa or whatever. And then so like at the end we like play this like really emotional music and you like hear poof of like the manure like dumping and like Evan, who's like Ty Pennington, because he could do the voice the best.
Really?
He's
Ty
just like
Pennington.
he's just like sobbing. You just like hear him. Right after they like dump this artificial manure on this statue.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
And we also like worked in like I don't know. It was always really funny to us just because we found like weird pronunciations of words really funny. It probably isn't funny to anyone else, but like our mom told us this story. Like I don't know if it was probably like in middle school or something. She had to like get up in front of the class and read something, and she hadn't seen the word manure before, so she read it as manure. And like the teacher like got all hacked off or what it's like it's pronounced manure. But anyway, so we like, worked that into the thing. So it's like the guy, the designer who like made the monument is like explaining it, and he's like, we got basically this bucket on the tractor full of brown rocks, and we're gonna make it look like manure. And it was just like really funny to us.
I do remember, while I didn't do too much with, like, I had I had like a mini tape recorder, and my sister and I recorded stuff all the time, but I don't remember what any of it was. But there was one time you came over, went out to my trampoline, and I got a tape recorder, like an old like
Oh,
tape
yeah,
recorder.
yeah.
And we recorded like 45 minutes of a
Was that any
radio
of that
show.
good?
I remember it being really good.
I remember not being.
I'll have to.
I'll
I think
close
I
it.
put that on my computer on my
Okay.
old laptop, so I'll see if
I'll
next
definitely
time I'm
listen to
back
it.
home. Maybe tomorrow I'll see if I can find that. But I specifically remember there was one thing that you said that we laughed a lot about. It was like first of all, the naming was
Was it one of the, would I flip the first letter for the name again?
yes, we did that.
Is that what I did?
Ben Glack instead of Glenn Beck.
Ben Gleck. Yes, that's what it was.
That was one, and then you said like it was some word that you said that it was thievery or what was it? It wasn't thievery, was it?
Chokery.
Chokery. Yeah, he like choked.
Someone choked and he was charged with chokery.
Chokery, yeah.
It's like, why would you get charged for chokery?
Chokery. Oh, I gotta.
Yeah, then we just laughed at that for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and we stopped
yeah.
recording.
That was most of it. I just remember we got that out.
So that kind of reminds me back to the bananas or the potatoes comedy that we did. We would always take names of actual comedians and then just like change it a little bit. So like, let's see. So one of the guys was Tim Hawkins, right?
Jim, wasn't it like Jim?
Tim Eagleins instead of
Tim.
Hawkins.
Oh, I remember that.
It was like, what were the other ones?
Darren. Did you do one of Darren's?
No, we didn't because we couldn't think of anything for it. There's like a guy named
Or
Frank.
Ramsey.
It was Thor Ramsey, which is the host. We named it a chimpanzee. It's like chimpanzee. But
Yeah,
it's
that's so
chimpanzee.
good.
And then Ken, there's a guy named Ken Davis, and he made it Ben Mavis or something like that. And
Mavis
then-
Beacon.
Mavis Beacon teaches typing. It's like a typing program that teaches you.
I remember that name
It
is sounds
teaches you
really familiar.
proper
Typing form or whatever.
ergonomics.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're talking about names. I just remembered another whole premise for one of the Extreme Makeover Home Edition things was that the names of everyone in the family were like words that they're like already words that vaguely sound like names, but also kind of sound somewhat like inappropriate.
Like what?
Oh boy.
So
What does
like
that
their
mean?
last name came from like an actual experience of us watching Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and I was like, what did they say their last name was? This isn't an actual word, but it's like what it sounded like to me at the time, and we just like went with it. Their last name was Felt Whopper. So then we gave them all like first names that were like already names, or already words that sound like names.
Combining 2 words together.
Well, they're like already words in and of themselves, but they also like weirdly sound like names, and also sound somewhat inappropriate. So like one was like Dauber, and like Clovis.
Are these real words?
Bezel, Melon, Molar. That was my favorite. It was Molar. It really sounds like a name.
I really like Bezel.
Yeah, Bezel, Melon, Molar, and Amethyst.
I mean, Molar's a real name. M-O-E-L-L-E.
Is it really? Like a first name?
No, last name.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
The Molar technique. That's a drum technique.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Molar Felt Whopper. And like I just loved making Evan like yell really loud because he can do it really well, especially when he like impersonates Ty Pennington. So I just like make him yell their last name a lot. It was just like hysterical. So like at the end of
Move That Bus.
Yeah, at the end of that particular like episode, I just made him yell it like as loud as he could, and he like heard himself like yelling so loud, but it sounded hilarious.
Oh man,
we've got to find these.
Yeah.
Like, someday, like I don't know. Next time the 3 of us are free, we'll just all take a day to like just do nothing but watch these all day.
That'd be amazing.
Shoot. Fake names though, I like.
Names.
Say that one again that you had.
Which one?
The one of
Molar Felt Whopper.
Not Molar.
Bezel.
Not Bezel. That was from earlier tonight. Of the one when you were doing the like the news show. You know,
Abu Kadujana.
Abu Kadujana.
It's so good.
I'm Abu Kadujana.
Oh, I love that. But nice. Yeah, I think. So yeah, that's all I got as far as most childhood things. I mean, there's obviously more to delve into at some point, but
we also did a parody of Martha Stewart. It was called Muffy Stew Pot.
Muffy Stew Pot.
And that one we actually like did video for at one time, and like Evan would be behind the camera, and he had like a microphone that was hooked to a karaoke machine that fed into the camera.
What?
So he would
So
like
good.
the shot was like on me, and I was wearing like an apron, but he cut my head off, so you couldn't see who I was. But it was just like, so you could see like what I was doing with my hands and stuff, like making dishes and things, and like
pots and pans.
Yeah, making pots and pans.
How to make your own pots and pans.
But he would be like voicing everything, so like I was following his lead. So like he would be like directing me by like speaking for me.
I really like that.
Oh, do you remember, Mitch? One of the other things we showed aside from music video was it was like the commercial for the Fine Arts Festival. We made a commercial for the Fine Arts Festival. It was like the watch that like mirrored.
The watch.
Yeah, the double.
You played it on like a TV.
On a box TV.
Right, on a box TV, just like on one of the desks.
There's no other way to do it. Yeah, it was the Doubler Juggler. You remember that?
I remember.
Okay,
I remember watching this, but I don't remember a whole lot about it.
So there's this really cool setting on the old VHS camera that it mirrors. So like.
Oh yeah.
Halfway through the screen, it just mirrors. So like you can do weird stuff.
Yeah.
And we made like some commercial about like, oh, this watch like changes reality or whatever. But I remember that like it was a weird thing to submit for a Fine Arts Festival.
I remember that was like pretty cool though.
It looks it's like it was really cool, and like especially when you're younger. And then we eventually evolved from that to other stuff. The other thing is like we get like our neighbor friends or like Phil or something, and we would start making a movie.
This is nice.
One of the dubs we did was like an infomercial on HSN, and it was my neighbor
TLC.
friend. My neighbor friend who's like super like crazy.
That kid was really hilarious.
He's so funny, dude.
What was his name?
Jordan.
Was he like your next door neighbor?
Yeah, he was like a bigger guy with
I remember.
glasses.
I saw him like once or twice.
Yeah. So we did like this HSN thing. He was just super fun. He was in a really good mood that day. 'Cause he was just off the wall.
Man, this is nice.
So we would make movies. The thing is, we would make. I don't think this was intentional. Like we wanted to make full movies, but we ended up always making enough material to make like a trailer for a movie, but it would never actually get finished. And like this one movie we did with me and Phil, it was called Empty, and it had Jared was in it too for a little bit. It was kind of like one of the later things we did, but we ended up being able to split it into 4-minute trailers. So it was like 15 minutes of footage.
Oh, that was the one where you guys are like in Jared's basement.
Yeah.
And he's like wearing the sunglasses.
It's like we've never like made a feature-length movie. Well, I shouldn't say that. We made like a 30-minute movie before, but like there's so many movies that are just partially done that we have that are like basically just trailers.
Well, I think that'll take care of this episode. Thanks everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed. I love each and every one of you. I mean that sincerely. I think probably.
Depending on who's listening.
That's true.
I may or may not love you.
If you're someone I like, then know that I very much enjoy that you're listening. If you're someone that I don't like, I don't know why you would listen to this far, but this is getting too drawn out. So we're just gonna end on the name that I think is just really funny.
What?
We're gonna end on the name that I think is just really funny.
Oh, Abu Kadujana.
Thank you guys.
Now, here is the newest show. I'm sorry. Here is the show now. It is called The Biggest Gainer. Dun, 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 dun.